And she's like, I said, when I got Crocs on, I gotta go home, so you can't drive.
Yeah. But yeah, because it's like you don't, yeah, you don't, once you lose it, you can't like, get it back. So yeah. Yeah.
Lois said you went to order
Yeah.
sandbox tomorrow for lunch.
Teeth. Yeah. Mm. Yeah. No. Nope.
I think they do salads.
Well, that's what she said. She showed up good ones, but that's what she said. I'll look at some.
Yeah.
She get the big.
No, but I drove around just today. I know where it is now. So I just didn't. Yeah. Yeah. No, it looks nice.
Okay. Thanks. How long?
I think it's in.
Okay.
Forgot the name of the place, but it's. He bought three very good restaurants that so.
Okay.
And my sister Diane dropped it and stepped on it. And said, we're not, so I could have my teeth started.
I've been to a few of the restaurants in Sturbridge
And my
because it was like when we moved up here from back from Connecticut, and we were still trying to meet up with friends. It was a good place to meet. There's a seafood restaurant there. There's the smokehouse. There's a few other places. So you know, so but I hadn't really wandered further than that.
So your phone?
They think they have all the signatures.
It's my phone.
She said they do.
That's what.
Is that your phone?
No, mine's right here.
Oh, is that mine? Must be mine.
You want your
Yes,
pen?
it is. Just want to make sure everyone had a chance to sign in. It's a sign-in sheet over there.
Without residence?
Oh, yeah, it just,
Okay.
anyone who's here. Just for the minute, so it'll accurately, reflect who's here.
There she is.
Yeah. Having way too much fun already in the audience.
I didn't see it, yeah.
What's that?
No, this is in the first view. That's the truth. This afternoon, just got
Do they give specific, is it generic or is it something specific?
She said she doesn't. She's gonna follow us more in depth, but she might guess.
Okay.
Yeah, people would be subject, we would be liable for workers' comp claim if they got hurt on our property, doing something that we gave them
Permission to do.
permission to do, and absolutely not using our equipment, because that would even further liability for something wrong. You know, it doesn't feel good, but it's probably the right thing to do. I mean, volunteers who drive a desk, you know, use a pen, come to a meeting, maybe go help, you know, create a new trail on some conservation land with their own tools.
Well, because we have a bunch of stuff and we can talk about it. You can talk about it during, we can talk about
All
it.
right, are we ready? Sorry, 7:02, you want to start?
Of course.
Interrupt.
You could have interrupted at any time.
All right, you ready? Good evening, welcome to the Brookfield Select Board meeting, Wednesday, June 17, 2026 at 7 p.m. We're at the Brookfield Town Hall. This meeting will be live streamed and recorded. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
There will be no public comment for this meeting. Signed warrants, fiscal year 26-25 accounts payable in the amount of $149,853.55, and fiscal year 26-25 payroll in the amount of $200,090.76. This is a joint meeting with the Board of Assessors, and we will start with number 1. Review and execute Apple Country Radio lease agreement.
You want to use this?
I'm used to microphones.
Did the two of you have a chance to read Michelle's memo?
I read the memo. There wasn't an attachment of a copy of the license itself, but I did get a chance to review the memo.
Okay.
I do want to ask a question. Are we considering the memo a public document since it's being discussed in open session, or are we going to be considering that privilege?
I don't know, when she sent it to me, she said non-public document, but then I sent it to Karen to share it to the two of you. I don't really care.
No, I
either
just
way.
want to verify that way we know in advance if someone can request it or
I
not.
think it's appropriate to let people see it.
Yeah.
All right, so. I don't know if you have an opinion. I didn't see whether this was marked as a public document or not, or as a
It's
attorney
not marked,
privilege
so
or
I
not.
think you're
Yeah, good, right?
perfectly
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
able to discuss it and share it as you need to.
Okay, great, thank you.
Questions, comments?
So it sounded like to me that fundamentally the original license agreement complies with the concept of a license, but that there were some amendments made after KP's last engagement with this, when the original license was done.
Yeah,
That there was some verbiage that maybe wasn't in the original attorney product.
Yeah, there were some things that Sharon asked to be amended, I believe, at the last meeting in April. So the memo's based off of that.
Okay.
If I
And also based, sorry, Sharon, and then based off also the agreement that she got that we
Okay.
currently have, so she had both.
Okay, have we provided a copy of the license agreement to Sharon at this point?
The memo
No.
or the
You have
license?
a license agreement, I put it in the packet.
I don't know, I haven't seen that. So,
The license agreement that you're under now, I put it in everything.
so that's our current one then?
Okay, so this is the
correct?
current one. We don't have go forward drafted yet.
No, when Sharon came here in April, she only had a couple things that she wanted to amend, but there was no physical typed contract with those amendments for us to go forward with, if that makes sense. So so tonight we would have to discuss what we want and then still draw up the document.
Okay, so I'd like my first motion to be that, we extend the existing license another 30 days in order to settle out the rest of the documentation, because our original extension ends, I believe, today.
Yeah, or June or July 1st, I think.
Yeah, and I think that's our next meeting date, so
Yeah.
I would like to just, to take the time pressure off, or I'd like to move
I'll
that we
second that.
do an additional 30-day extension.
Any discussion? All in
No.
favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So one question I had, and I know Blake, this is technically your second day in the job. Have you had an opportunity to read up on any of this?
Yes.
Okay. Do you see any issues or any recommendations? What do you, I'd like to know what.
I'm very comfortable with town council's recommendations. I think she is appropriately recommending that this situation is better handled as a license than a lease, especially with the Mass General laws that come into play for,
Yeah.
because a lease is an interest in property or in land. And so I think what she was trying to strike a balance of is giving the license that is, allows Apple Country Radio to continue doing what they're doing, but also protects the town in terms of not making it more than a license that could cause us issues later on. So that's why on page 3 of her memo, she talks about lowering the renewal periods to 1 year and perhaps capping the number of renewals, especially since we have to be mindful of the procurement threshold of $35,000. If we still want the radio station to pay $2,100 a year, you can have more renewals before you get to that point, which gives the radio station some ability to continue to operate here, which is what I think you want to achieve. And I think also the termination language should be modified, just because we as the owner of the property should have more latitude to adjust if something came up and we needed to about the building. We don't want to be locked into a situation where we couldn't as easily. I know that may not feel as friendly, but I think it's appropriate for the municipality.
Okay. Thank you.
Question,
Yes.
could we go over the changes relative from the old to the new so I can make notes on my copy, if that's possible? Because I don't have anything in front of me except what you're talking about here. And I want to be sure I come away with something that I can read later.
I would like to make a motion that Sharon meet with Blythe
To go through it.
upcoming week and kind of go over it, and that way there, we're not just sitting here kind of going
Yeah,
back
going
and
through it,
forth,
yeah.
and then
Yeah.
my only thought is that I would like to weigh in on what the cost would be. I think, though I don't want to make it so expensive that Sharon can't afford it, but I think the $2,100 should be more than, I don't think that's adequate. And I think we need to kind of weigh in on what that number would be.
Well,
But based on, can I finish?
Sure, absolutely.
Based on some rent, and I'm not sure how we're gonna do that, if we just get a quote from a realtor with square footage, or whether we, but certainly the heat and the electricity and probably cooling may exceed the $2,100.
So-
I don't know anywhere where you can go and pay a year's rent for $2,100.
So, and this goes back to how we want to handle this long-term, right? And the difference between a license and a lease. So if we were gonna move into a lease scenario, right? Then there's a couple of different steps under 30B that we need to follow. The first step, which we executed but didn't execute back a year and a half or 2 years ago, or whenever we started on this journey, it's all starting to run together for me, so I apologize. Okay, is that, and I have some copies of the photos. The area was like, had a bunch of trash. It was not really functionally a usable space. One of the reasons why the space was selected was because, functionally speaking, it looked abandoned to the point where one of the first steps when you do a municipal lease is to deem the space excess, just like when we dispose of property. Like, and the second step is what you just talked about, which is figuring out what fair market value is. Okay. But if we're going to tie the license to fair market value, we might as well go through the process of turning it into a lease, right? Fundamentally. So either and maybe it's some license fee that's higher than, I'm not saying it shouldn't be a license fee that's higher than $2,100, but we can't base it, if we're doing it as a license, we shouldn't be basing it off of fair market value. We could potentially look at our operating expenses for that square footage would be appropriate, which I think is what we were attempting with the original fee, was based off of the primary concern is, whether we have a radio station up there or not, we're heating the building. Okay, so and what does change is electricity usage, right? We're not functionally, intentionally heating that area any differently than we would be under normal
I'd
circumstances.
like to ask Sharon one question. Did we
Right.
put in electric, or did you have someone put in an electric heater in that room also?
There is no heat in that room, either a separate heater or heat from the building. Likewise, there is no cooling in that room, either room actually. The mezzanine, which is above the green room, and the green room itself are not heated and not cooled.
But my thought is, once you're in there full-time, in the summertime, it will be unbearable, and in the winter, it's too cold. And when Kermit was doing the windows, I thought he said that he recommended, or there was some talk about an electric heater being put in, because you need to be comfortable when you're in there. And I'm not trying to make this unreasonable. I'm just trying to get it up a little bit so that it's not any cost to the town either. So I'm not trying to kill you.
Well, I think whether or not we put in a heater should be left to the people using the room, namely me and Jacob. And I don't expect to put in a heater. I'm pretty cold tolerant, number one. Number two, I could always leave the door open to the second floor. And that's in some cases what I was been doing when I refinished the floors, when I helped take the garbage out of the rooms, when I had volunteers come in and paint, we left that door open and some heat drifted in. And that was enough to keep it from being unbearable during the winter months. So I'm not planning on getting a heater. I am not planning on getting an air conditioner. And with those windows, an air conditioner would be problematic anyway, because we do have those nice new barriers that you paid for in front there.
Well, those are temporary. Those will come out in the summer, so an AC unit could be put in, but it's your call. If you don't want one, it's fine.
And the amount that was on the original license for electricity was based on an electric cost that I had incurred at the Gavitt studio. We did I think it was a study of 2 complete years of National Grid bills. And we came up with the median, which was, I believe, 157, and Ron Aponte suggested 179, and I agreed to that. And that was over and above the electricity that I used at Gavitt. And Gavitt was electrically heated. That room had no heat, no air conditioning, and I had to put all of those utilities in when Gavitt lent us the space for nothing. And so those bills were totally incurred by the station, and they did include heat. So that was the amount that was agreed upon, and I believe that was a rationale behind it.
Was that it was both heat and electricity functionally, if there had been electric heat in the space, and there's not. So there's already some margin if we're just talking cost.
And also the provision was made that after a year, we could look at the town's electric bills and heating bills, and if an adjustment had to be made, we could do that.
I think that's going to be really difficult to try to figure that out, but and I don't know that we even need to go down that road. But if you came up with those numbers, I'm not trying to circumvent that or redo it, right? So, but it just seemed to me that it was pretty low price for the room. And even if the town got another 100 a month for the rent versus the
The
179.
license fee,
Yeah. I get it.
right?
I also need to point out that I'm also paying for insurance, which is approximately another $2,100 a year. And the insurance was insisted upon by the town, and I complied. And in fact, you have the insurance documents showing the coverage. And I had a little trouble finding a quote that was reasonable, but I looked at one of those websites that you can put out multiple bids, and I found something that I felt we could afford. I will be blunt, at this point, I cannot really say that we can afford any increase. Well, as I said, I'm happy to look at it in another year, because by then we'll be broadcasting again. I can do fundraising. I can apply for grants. I haven't been able to do that because of the legal stuff and also getting those rooms ready. I haven't had the time to do it. So all I'm asking is that we maintain the level of costs that we have now, and then we can revisit it in another year.
I mean, it sounds like there was,
It's up to, I think I don't know anyone else that could get that deal. So, and I'm not suggesting that we make it so high that Sharon can't afford it, but it just seems like it's a pretty low number. So, and then the fact that, are you broadcasting out of there, or what do you?
We're pretty close. I'm trying to line up my broadcast engineer to put the live studio together and also to connect the antenna to the transmitter. That's something I can't do. I'm not an electrician for starters. And he has to come up with the link to put the two together, and then he has to test the signal. And this is a man who does, his name's Chris Tracy. He lives in Palmer. And he also does work for WGBH and WICN. So he's pretty busy in addition to his freelance work. I also want to point out, Richard, that you were there when we discussed the costs, and you agreed to the $179 a month.
Sharon, I'm not looking to double it or triple it.
No, I'm
adding,
just
like,
pointing out.
But nothing's been paid for a whole year either, right? So
The room hasn't been used for,
Hey, Beth
Oh,
wants
I'm
to
sorry. I
talk.
didn't hear you.
so Madam Chair, through you,
Yes.
The rough increase in electrical costs since the last time we did this license fee is 5%. 5% increase would be, what does that come out as?
$7.50
What's
roughly.
that?
$100.
Yeah. So,
Well, it's like
well, but that's
$7.50
for
a
like,
month.
that's for the year, so it'd be like, yeah.
It's
it'd be-
$7.50 a month.
So we were at what, 179 a month? What is that? What is the math?
Oh, I'm sorry, I thought you were asking on the whole $2,100.
Yeah,
a
the
month.
whole $2,100, it
Right.
would be about $100.
Right.
Right, split across, so if we called it an extra $10 a month, it would be an extra $120 on top of the
The
2,100.
2101.
I think if you were looking at a true lease, because you wanted to have a long-term relationship with an entity that wanted to use the space, I think your approach makes a lot of sense, but
It's
where.
actually legally required, yeah.
Legally required, of course. With a license, it's really because you want to provide this opportunity, if you want to call it, to have this here, and it's not necessarily about the cost, but we do
Yeah.
have to protect the town's interests in terms of insurance, in terms of not giving them property rights that they shouldn't have. I'm almost a little more concerned that if they've had a license for a year and nothing's been paid for it, I haven't read the lease so thoroughly to know if they weren't operating, were they not obligated to pay, or I don't know the answer to that yet.
Can you just explain that? Because I'm not that versed with it.
when we had an agreement that ran for a year, which expired ahead of a year. It was not completed a whole year because we redid the licenses. It was just for, I believe, the green room. What happened was we had conversations about both the green room and the mezzanine and putting the antenna on the clock tower. So the first lease was voided. We started a new lease, which began April 1st, 2024, for both the antenna and the green room. And the antenna and mezzanine go together because that's where the transmitter is going to be. And the antenna cable comes down into the mezzanine. At that point, the lease was signed, but I still had to clean up those rooms. I still had to redo the floors, and there was some delays involved with both. And we painted the walls, we patched up the holes. I got permission from the building inspector about what else needed to be done according to code, and we're still working on that. So there was, the only activity taking place in those rooms was building it out. There was no transmission happening from those rooms. I was bringing equipment in, I was setting it up to the best of my ability, and I had volunteers who were helping to paint, and I brought in a company that originally was going to be paid for by the town, but I ended up paying for it myself to redo the floors on both of those rooms because neither one of them had been touched in over 2 decades, and they were horrible.
I understand all that. If you could just help me understand, was the licensed, was payment of the license fee dependent upon you actually being able to broadcast out of there or just have use of the space?
It didn't say either way. In fact, there was a fee involved, but it was $1 per year. The only expenses involved were for the electricity
Okay.
and for the insurance.
Thank you.
Yeah, so that's actually the way it's framed up in the agreement. It's a license fee of $1 in section 3 and then the expenses. So, and that's why I was recommending that since it's the cost of utilities, and if the average utility change has been 5%, we just adjust it up, even though it was a little bit buffered from the get-go.
I must point out too, the only electricity we were using up there, because I hadn't plugged any of the equipment in, was for lights. Jacob has moved into the room. He is using some electricity, but he is a town employee and he is working on behalf of the town. So if there's a bump in the electric bill, that's probably part of it. The rest is just turning the lights on and off.
Okay.
I'd be happy to work with Sharon to come up with a revised number and a revised agreement based on the feedback from you tonight and what we received from town council.
Okay, well, I guess my question back to you is, do you want to keep it as a license, or do you want to go through the process and do a
So,
lease? And
I want
'Cause
to,
it says
I want to
she-
go slow to go fast. I
she
think.
can't do, it says the threshold for another 15 renewal period, so she's gonna be capped, I guess, at the 15 renewal periods.
Right, so my thought is that since we have 15 renewal periods to work with, we can go slow to go fast, right? We
Mhm.
have alignment that a license, we're currently on a license. Town council's advice to us is that a license is, under this circumstance, probably the appropriate vehicle.
Yeah.
While I think in principle, we followed a portion of the start of what it would be for this to
Yes.
be a lease. We did not do all of our paperwork associated with the steps that are prerequisite under 30B to consider a lease. We've been on an extension in the interest of meeting the townspeople's preference that we support the nonprofit radio station that we're licensed for. That takes a lot of effort and energy. Spencer has had to get tens and thousands of dollars of grant money, I believe, in order to have a similar service that we're functionally, once we enable Sharon to get it back up and running, we can essentially enjoy for free, other than licensing this space. So I think, given that the prerequisites, if we license the space for an additional year, it gives us the room to go back, take a look at the minutes and the process that we followed originally, pull out the photos of this abandoned space, determine as a board whether we should have declared it excess or not at the time, and go through the process of doing exactly what Rich just proposed today, is doing a market analysis. I will tell you, depending on how many communities you include, given the paucity of businesses wanting spaces in our surrounding communities, the commercial rents in this area, if you include Spencer and Sturbridge, we're not getting a whole crap ton more than what the license fee is, okay? Excuse my language, but it's, the commercial spaces in this area is not some big bucket of money. I'd actually like to take a look at it, and Shelby, I don't want to put you on the spot, but I wanted to talk for a while if there's any, you know, accessible spaces even in the library annex that could be like cordoned off from the activities the library has planned for it, to consider potentially making just a room or two declared excess, to potentially offer them as like co-working spaces to the community in some sort of lease agreement, and try to foster some type of small business development in the area with the properties that we have available to us, right? And make this not just about the green room, but about how we're leveraging the municipal property that we have, if it's not actively in use, to try to drive some additional benefit to the community, right? So what I'd like to do is go back, look at the minutes, because we had a bunch of select board meetings at the time that basically said, yep, nobody's using it. Sorry, am I actually not loud enough today? Sorry, it's a bucket. Okay, my bad. I can actually get closer to the mic. And actually just look at it from a perspective of like that broader picture of what we're doing to foster this type of innovation and other people's like small business innovation in the area, right? But we have to follow the process. So taking it on as a 1-year license, again, renewing it, it would technically give us 15 renewals at the current license fee, which, I mean, 15 years is a pretty long period of time to figure out what the next home's gonna be, right? And if we don't and if for stability's sake, we want to transition to a lease, it gives us the time, it buys us the time to go slow to go fast, right? So, that would be the strategic approach I'd like to take with this.
Okay.
So, but I'm fine with a license. I'm fine with a license for a year and so long as I'd like to put in there specifying that it's renewable, you know, at least some number of times, let's call it 10 times, you know, in case the fee structure does change, right? And that's, you know, who knows if this building will be here in 10 years, so.
I have one other
Burnt down
question.
once.
I heard that.
I have one other question. Sharon, I've heard rumors that you're able to broadcast from home with the antenna on the building. Is that accurate or is that not accurate?
Sure, if I could come up with $4,500 for the equipment, which I can't.
No, I'm only asking. So it is, you would have.
It's
the
called the
ability-
Studio to Transmitter Link. And there are a number of ways that can be done. But as I said, the least expensive version uses the internet, and it would cost, the equipment alone would cost $4,500. I would also need a 10 gigabyte internet connection. And I don't have that at home. So that would be an extra expense on top of that. And I don't have that priced out. I would prefer to have the antenna and the studio in the same building. If only because if I get volunteers, they won't have to come through my house.
I just wanted to know if it was accurate or not, and I knew you were the only one.
It is
that could tell me
possible
that, so,
technically,
okay.
but practically speaking, no,
Not really.
not really.
Thank you.
Besides, that bedroom is, that guest room is currently in use. My husband is sleeping there.
All right, anything else? Comments, questions, concerns?
Sarah, all I can say is if anybody needs information, I'm happy to supply it. I already gave Blythe a whole folder full of paperwork. If there's anything else you need from me, just let me know. And I'll get it to the town hall as fast as I can copy it.
Okay.
And Blythe, you just contact me whenever and I'll trot over and we can talk.
Great, let's meet early next week.
Okay, great.
All right. So they're gonna meet.
We had they're gonna meet early next week.
Yeah.
We had a motion and a second for extending the lease under the current terms. But in the discussion, it sounded like Rich was not amenable to, well,
Well,
we'd
we
be on
took
a
a vote,
1 month
yeah.
extension.
Yeah, 1 month
We did an
extension.
extension, and then I
Yeah.
made a motion that I'd like to work on it with Sharon, and get it ready for our next meeting.
We take, but last when we voted to complete, it was the current license, 30 days. Second one,
We didn't vote on it.
What's the second one?
that light.
Oh, that light work, okay.
I'll second that, if it's not seconded already.
Any discussion? All in
It's
favor?
all done.
Aye.
Aye.
Am I done?
Okay.
I think you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Moving on, number 2, full-time police officer appointment, Matthew, I'm gonna butcher his last
Schlegel.
name.
Schlegel.
Schlegel?
Schlegel.
All right. Come
I'll
on
make
up.
them. Good evening. Hey, Matt. Richard Schaefer.
So as you got my memo,
Have a seat right here if you want.
Nice to meet you.
you should do that after, but that's fine.
I know,
Whatever.
it's all right, whatever.
No, that's perfectly fine. So I'd respectfully request that you appoint Matthew Schlegel to one of the 2 full-time openings, starting him off at step 5 due to his 5 years of experience, which the contract does allow with your permission, and there is money in the budget for that.
I'll make a motion that we appoint Matthew Schlegel to the Brookfield Police Department.
I'll second.
Any discussion?
I had a conversation, well, I'm gonna stay, no, I'm gonna stay on this. No, I'm good.
Okay. I did have a conversation quickly with through email with the chief.
Yes.
I did touch basis about some midnight things and some other things, having Matthew come on board. So I had no concerns or comments or questions. So I'm all set. Are you all set?
Yeah.
Any comments, questions?
So you're coming to us from West Brookfield?
That's right.
Welcome. Well done.
You stole one.
He
You
is
stole
a-
one.
About time. Usually people steal
I
ours,
was gonna
but
say, it's usually the other direction, right?
but he is a local resident, so he's got ties to the community. So I think he's really going to enjoy it here, and I think he's going to feel real welcome. And I appreciate you guys giving him the support he
welcome.
needs.
I do have one question. Sorry.
Sure.
Okay, so is Sean gonna train both of them
No.
for FTO?
No.
Okay.
So Matt is pretty experienced,
Okay.
and we have a lot of the towns around here use the same records management system stuff.
Okay.
So he's very familiar. So basically, all he just needs is probably like a week and a half
Okay.
tops of FTO, and he could do that with one of the other
With
officers.
one of the other
Yeah.
officers.
Yeah,
okay.
so,
All right.
yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, it
'Cause
won't
I know
interfere-
Ashley's with
right,
him,
and
so
it won't
that's one of my things,
interfere with
yeah.
that training.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Okay.
That's a
Perfect.
good question.
Yeah, I'm actually pretty excited because you come with some of the training that we lost with some of our recent departures. So that's very exciting for the town.
Yeah.
So, great.
Oh.
So, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Welcome aboard.
Welcome.
Thank you, guys.
All right. Anything else?
Do you want me to stay for the water heater or?
Yeah, really quick. We're gonna
That's fine.
skip right there to do, I think, the
Matt, you don't-
transfer and the.
Is Mike here so we can get sworn in now or no? All right, you want?
Yeah,
We have
Mike-
the motion in the second. We just have to-
Yeah, just any discussion. All in favor?
All right.
Aye.
You have to get the slip. You have the slip. Sarah. you have the slip.
There you go.
Thanks again.
Now you get the hand.
Thank you. Oh, it's you. That's not me.
Oh, that's right.
On now, not
Lives
the
in-
newest
did you say
employee,
he
so
lives
I'm
in
happy about
Brookfield?
that.
There you go.
I didn't, but yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I didn't want to give it
Oh,
out that
okay.
much,
All
but
right.
yeah.
So,
I said locally, but yeah, that's what it meant.
I assume that.
I didn't think of that, so glad you did.
No, I don't have a contract.
Okay, we're really quickly gonna skip
Write that
to number 8, police department spending request. Just so we can get them out of here. Basically, you're looking for a water heater to come out of the overtime, correct?
Yeah, well, yeah, so So the email was sent because you guys had put a moratorium on spending over
Yes.
$500. So I wanted permission to spend $500 to replace the water heater that was fixed on January 5th. And when he fixed it, he kind of said, I don't recommend fixing it because it might not last that long. And they don't make this water heater anymore, and he couldn't find the parts. He did find them online. But we went ahead and fixed it, and then now it's failing again, so it needs to be replaced. So I do have money that I could transfer into the expense account through the overtime account, and that's what I was looking to do.
Okay. I forget your email, but you wanted it to come from someplace else?
No.
No,
No,
right?
it
You're
works.
okay with the overtime? Okay, all right.
It just needs to be transferred, as he said, into an expense account, so it's appropriately.
Oh,
Right.
okay, all right.
Yeah.
That was the comment.
Yeah, you
Okay,
can't,
all
you
right.
can't just pay for it out of.
Out of the
wages.
overtime, yeah,
Right.
yeah, okay.
And we filled out the transfer request.
Yes,
this
yeah, that's
morning.
next on the agenda, yes.
Oh.
Yeah, Holly did it, yeah, so that's tonight.
Yes.
Okay, all right. Any comments, questions, concerns?
My only thing is I'd like to see more than one quote next time, rather than, I know it's not over the chapter 30B, but I would like to see more than one quote.
I
Okay.
certainly don't have a problem doing that going forward.
Just, if I could make
Well-
one other comment, I think one thing that caught my eye is that you could argue it falls under 30B, but it's also doing work to a building, which under chapter 149 means that you're supposed to pay prevailing wage. Right, so I don't, philosophically, it's very challenging for any community to do for very small repairs. So I think, given that this is something we need to operate, and provide hot water for, officers to be able to use, I think we need to go forward, but I think we need to work on finding ways to make sure we're following that
Yes.
in the
Good
future.
catch. Yes.
So.
Okay.
So, I mean, yeah.
I think, Chief, do you have any other opportunities to get another quote from another vendor in the area?
So honestly, I don't know the answer to that question. So I've had plumbing work done down there before, and I've asked some local people, and some of them said they didn't have time to do it before. This company is the one that installed it when they built the station.
Understood.
So I had them come in, and they've been maintaining it.
Chief, I can send you a couple phone numbers.
I mean, yeah, but it's also timely too, because we have the end of the fiscal year. That's the issue. I wanted to use this year's funds rather than take them out of next year's funds if we had the money now. So that was just kind of my thought process.
I think that'll make sense. I just think in the future, we should.
Oh,
try to
100%.
get
Yes,
steps
I will,
to-
I will
Yeah.
absolutely do that. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have an issue with that.
Okay.
Can they execute it before the end of the year?
I did speak to him today, and he said he could. Yeah, he said it'd be crunch, but
And
he could.
invoice for it.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Absolutely.
Okay. Anything else? Some more quotes and anything else for you? No? All right. Anything else? All in favor?
All right.
Aye.
All right, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chief.
You just want to skip down to 12 really quick and just do the end of year transfer since we just talked about it. I think there's a couple in there too. One's going from police wages to police expenses. There's another one going from highway operator to highway overtime, highway clerk, highway expenses. And then there's another one going from COA director to town report, COA expenses, tax title, BOS expenses, something insurance.
general
Oh,
insurance.
general insurance, that's a G, and pilot. Any comments, questions?
I move that we execute the transfers as submitted.
I'll second that, but I do have a question on highway expense. Where did the 46,000 come from?
Operator wages.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it came from
Okay, so it's
operator
coming
and
out
it's
of
out of
wages,
there and
okay.
going to these three. Yeah, so that's how she's covering his
Okay.
expenses.
Okay. All right. So we're not taking the highway expenses out of the fleet repair then? For the expenses, is that any of the heavy equipment repairs that
No,
we've
I
made?
think it was just what he's behind in the bills that we haven't paid.
Okay. It's a big number. I didn't realize it was that much.
I
Okay.
don't know if they ever executed the transfers from fleet repair replace for the equipment
So
repair.
that would make sense why
So-
that's so
right.
high.
So so
Lori
I know we
question.
had the discussion and we voted
Yeah.
that some of the repairs that had been done or executed should have come from fleet repair replace.
Yeah,
I don't know if in the transition between Kyle and his various administrative assistants, whether they submitted it that way or not when those additional repairs came in.
okay.
So,
Well, we're gonna
I
need the
think
money
if
next
we
year
have the
anyway.
money, if we have the money within raise and appropriate, you know, we can leave the
Okay,
fleet repair where it's at. But,
I wanna say Lori did it, but I'm just gonna try and check the balance.
and I haven't seen it move the way it would have if they had done the transfers in the previous repairs.
Yeah, I didn't check the last one.
so I'm
Is it-
good with that, and that was my only question.
Yeah, cause she
Okay.
said at town meeting, we still had $96,000 and we were supposed to move something like, I think roughly $20,000.
Yeah, I thought it was like 60, the balance, and then I thought,
Yeah, it would have taken us, if everything had been moved as we voted back 2 months ago, relative to previously executed repairs, it would have taken it from the 90 some odd $1,000 down to like 70 or $60,000.
yeah,
It never moved. Whether that was because there was, you know, additional plans for these transfers, I don't know. But she had the option.
Okay.
If she didn't execute it, and we're doing it this way, it's within raise and appropriate, and
I'm good.
it zeroes the books, so.
yeah, okay. Any more discussion?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Number 3, sorry, we're jumping back up. Town treasurer discussion / vote.
Blythe, I guess I would call on you. How did the meeting go with the potential treasurer?
It went very well. She is clearly she's fully qualified as a certified treasurer collector. We don't need her to be a collector, but that's just a bonus that she has that background. She's also currently working as an assistant accountant in another community, and she's gonna stay in that with them, but just lesser 2 days a week. So her commitment to us would be 3 days a week, which fits well with
Wow.
our need. She lives locally. She really wants to continue to work for small communities near home. And I said, well, one thing we'd like to do is have somebody on a longer term basis. You know, I can't ask you to commit to me how long you would stay with us, but I got the impression it was, more than 5 years.
So Brenda, our tax collector's been looking for someone to help when she's away and to utilize her vacation. So it sounds like if she's already a collector, this will kind of fit right in with us.
Yes, I don't think we can rely on her to do those duties too regularly, but
No.
we're also in the process of about to hire, I guess, a financial clerk
Yeah.
who will also support us in
Okay.
payroll. So I think we'll have a solid finance team, which
Structure.
is important.
Yes.
Very hard to do these days in any municipality.
So is the treasurer gonna do the HR that we need also?
Between that person and the
The clerk.
financial
And the
clerk,
clerk,
yes.
yeah.
Okay. All
And
right.
so the person we have doing that work on a contract basis will stay a little bit into the summer for some overlap and handoff.
Mhm.
And then she'll take those things over.
Perfect. All right, thank you. That's it, I'm good.
Okay.
And I know Lori had sent us an email, so Lori was very comfortable with her, and that also is good.
You're okay with the dollar amount?
I don't think we have much choice. It's a lot less than what we're paying now.
Fine. Okay. So I'll move that we appoint Mary LaRoe as our town treasurer.
Second,
Any discussion?
no.
Oh, you just wanna amend it just to say her, the dollar amount? I think we said, I think Lori recommended $45 an hour.
All right, well, I think that would be wouldn't that be separate? Okay,
Yeah,
well,
we can do separate,
or
whatever.
no,
Yeah.
I'll amend it. Go ahead. It's, that we hire Mary LaRoe at, an hourly rate of $45 an hour.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye. And what are we paying the firm right now?
Oh, like 100.
175 an
Yeah, I just
hour?
wanted to make that
Yeah.
clear, so.
Yeah. I think for certain personnel, it's higher than that actually, but the average
the
person
one-
is 175.
Okay,
Okay, number 4, volunteer policy. Review and execute.
Okay, but it sounds like that there were some concerns from the insurance company, so.
Yeah, and Michelle, I guess.
We first sent it to Michelle.
Right.
And she looked at, she raised some points, and she also correctly recommended it should go to Maya to ask their input. But they got back to Karen late today that they do have some concerns, and they'll get us a more thorough answer tomorrow. But in general, volunteers shouldn't be doing jobs that are their responsibilities day in, day out of a town, and especially doing work on town property. They could be eligible for workers' compensation if they get hurt, which makes it a little more complicated if they're not actually our employee. And especially not using the town's property. If there was any issue with the town's property, and that caused them to get hurt or something to happen, again, that adds to the liability.
Yeah.
So they're gonna get back to us more fully. So I would recommend that we just keep this under discussion and bring it back to you when we have a solid recommendation.
Okay. And I guess my question would be, there's been a lot of things that historically, and I guess fundamentally, so long as, I'll give you an example, like the beach cleanup, right? They've done that for years without any open volunteer policy. I don't know if we've actually used town equipment for that, or if it's historically just been volunteers show up with shovels and
Rakes.
plastic bags and rakes,
Yeah.
right? So, time wise, when do we usually do the South Pond cleanup event? 30 days ago we did it?
Yeah.
So, okay,
Yeah, before Memorial Day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
before Memorial Day.
yeah, so, okay, so
It
that's
doesn't-
water under the bridge, so to speak.
Yeah, it doesn't feel very friendly in terms of how we'd like to be able to accomplish the town's
Yeah.
work when we
Yep.
don't have a lot of resources.
Yeah.
At the same time, we also don't want to add to town's liability
Right.
that we didn't,
Yep.
intend.
Okay. Okay,
Okay,
so I guess we're passing it for tonight.
passing over it. All right. Number 5, South Pond Beach updates, cleanup status, etc. Discussion. Jeff, you want to come out? Dave, come on.
Oh, you okay, man? Yeah, that sounds bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, Karen called me this afternoon and said that since I knew what was going on, I should probably say something,
Okay.
even though I
It-
can't really
I was gonna
talk.
say,
Yeah.
the voice sounds horrible,
Do you want
sorry.
some? Do you want some?
No, sorry. Jeff Clark, 101 Brunel Avenue. It's a laryngitis, cold, sinus, I don't know. So anyway, as far as complying with the terms of the state contract, we put the buoys in last Friday on the 14th or 13th, I don't remember the day. We had a little bit of a holdup because there was a transition on the Board of Health from one chairman to another. And when I reached out to Maureen, she had said I'm no longer the chairman, and Jake is the new person, but he hasn't been voted formally yet, so there was a little bit of a hiatus there. We got that all squared away. Jake got the permit and you guys signed it, I guess, so we're good that way. The only major issue is that because of the highway turnover, whatever, none of the sort of the vegetation management, as it's called, had been done. And, I got and the other couple of things I wanted to mention, I got a call last week because a woman from East Brookfield was walking her dog in the morning and there was some vandalism. The porta potty was, actually lifted up over the guardrail and went down the embankment. So there was some stuff, around, whatever. So I was telling Sarah and Rich that I talked to the woman for, a little bit of time and, I said, we'll get it taken care of. So we got that squared away the next day. And at the same time, somehow a sign appeared. It was a Board of Health sign from a few years ago that said no swimming allowed, or no swimming per Board of Health. So that confused me a little bit too. So then I had to call Jake again and say, I thought the water quality was fine because you said the beach permit had been issued, blah, blah, blah. So, we're not quite sure what happened, but he did file a report with the chief. And Don Taft also filed a report about the vandalism. Apparently it's happened in the past. We don't know who, why, what, whatever. So everything is okay, but the quality of the beach environment is a little off because of the lack of vegetation management. And Chris was down there. He did a little bit, but the embankment is still overgrown. Most of the area around the parking lot is sort of overgrown. So the only concern that we had as a committee was that, with the tick and all that, I know Kermit just came down with some sort of tick-borne disease. So I was a little leery that if people are wandering around in the tall grass trying to get to the beach, then it might cause some issue. So that's why I said we've got people willing to do a weed whacker with their own stuff and go down and take care of that, but I didn't know about, the thing with the liability and all, so.
Do you mind if I address some of this? So I had spoke with Chris Stevens. He went down there on Friday and he attempted to get a lot of it done. He was not able to get it all done. He was out on Tuesday. He went back today and did a bunch more of the cutting and weed whacking, or he was supposed to. I didn't talk to him at the end of the day, but the plan was for him to do it, and the plan is to do it again tomorrow. So to kind of bring that under the vegetation down to a reasonable amount, as well as Quabog Pond as well. There's some trimming that needs to be done down there.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much time it would take, but he seemed like a really good guy and I appreciate him going down there. But the embankment all the way down to the wharf is still overgrown. So that's an issue. I don't know how long that would take. So that's why I was saying, we have people standing by if needs be. And then so that was sort of the thing was going on right now. So I don't know. We should just wait and see how well Chris does with the weed whacking or.
Yeah, I don't know how much he'll get done or how quick, but I would expect that he would have it under control pretty quick, but I didn't speak to Maya or town council, so I'm not gonna weigh in on whether someone can volunteer, but one of you guys might.
Okay, so the only other issue I had was that 2 or 3 years ago, I forget, you were, and it was Brad and Beth, you were on the conservation committee, and Maureen also came down about the handicapped accessible under the radar work to allow people to get down to the beach. And I just wanted to reemphasize that nothing has occurred in the time period since then because of the highway turnover. I do understand that Babe's Landscaping Service is willing to donate some time or services or something, but again, you spoke very eloquently, Rich, about what was necessary to do it, but it didn't stick with me. So I don't know if that's something that Babe can do, or we need volunteers or the highway department or what, but.
I would be willing to meet with them and talk to them and kind of go over some of the things we talked about a year and a half, 2 years ago, probably, I guess.
Yeah, it's probably about that time.
Close to 2 years.
Yeah, because I mean, I think we thought that it probably should be done in the spring, but we missed that cycle. But maybe something could be done in the meantime or in the fall or something, but I just wanted to get it on the radar of the select board again. Because it is an important issue. I do get calls from people wanting to use it but can't because of the lack of access. So that's it for now.
Okay, well, thank you.
Anything else? Okay, moving on. Number 6, sign South Pond Beach fiscal year 2027 agreement review and execute.
It's exactly the same as last year, we just changed the date, so all those exhibits attached to it, exactly the same.
Okay, I move that we sign the agreement as submitted.
I'll
Second,
second.
any discussion?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, you want to copy now? And sign. Okay, you don't care. if it's signed.
Number 7, Gay Road grants update.
Okay.
I don't know about the grant, but I know that we're paving down there today,
Yeah,
but I don't know about the grant end of it.
I need to request as a grant update. I don't know if I even requested it as anything.
Someone requested it, and I thought it.
I think the only thing.
Maybe
open-
I think it was a carryover. I think from or one of the times when we just talked about. I think.
Oh, what the actual estimate was with them stopping at the power lines.
Yeah,
I don't know if I
think,
have
and then
that
I think we
number or
just
not.
talked about making sure that it was caught up with Rebecca, but
Right,
it
but I saw that.
it sounds like it is.
I saw the email traffic from her that the
Yeah,
next payroll submittal went in. I know that Piapi has been working with Precise Paving in order to do the final work,
Final
including
work.
some of the work that typically would have been done by Piapi themselves and not by the contractor. One of the things I haven't followed up on that I had committed to Bruce Clark that I would is that and we're late getting our quotes out for our state contract for things like our road paving.
A lot of
I had
that,
meant to get,
I'm
hold on,
sorry.
hold on a
Sorry.
second, right? So we do actually have to put like a bid package out on an annual basis to get,
Yes.
to select who we are using. Now, what I don't know is if we could reach out to Mass Broken Stone and like get on their calendar and see if they'll extend their price from this last contract to this year. I don't know if that falls under 30B or if we're stuck, we have to put out that RFP. But what we need to do is as soon as we can get on somebody's agenda to get that piece from the now that we've got precise
Mhm.
schedule to get on the calendar for once they're done with their work, which will be within the next couple of days, get the right entity in under the right vehicle to do from the power lines to the town line.
In speaking with Kyle at one point during the bid process last year, I thought that those bids could be extended for up to 3 years. Is that accurate?
It could if there's a provision in there
And I
for
think-
that.
And I think we did that.
So I can check with the town accountant, see if we have the
Yeah.
contracts and see what it'd be, because with the prices of petroleum products in the last,
Yeah.
X months.
Yeah, they may not honor
They-
it. but-
Well, if there's a clause, they would have to honor it. If there's no clause,
Right.
then I think,
We're gonna be stuck.
well, and I would also, I don't know about this area, but there are regional groups that do purchasing for those sorts of things. I don't know what's here, if we have to do it on our own, or we can jump on somebody else's.
If Lori doesn't have the contract, check with Deb, because I think she can probably find it in the files down at the highway barn.
Yeah, she's out to training tomorrow, but I can check with her on Monday.
Yeah.
I'll reach out to Mass Broken Stone also and see if they're able to get it done before July 1.
If you want, sure. That'd be great if you would. Because I had planned on doing it and I hadn't gotten to it this week, so.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else? Moving on. Number 9, Water Department spending request.
All right, Jeff, take it.
I just want to apologize to Dawn and the water commissioners because I totally missed this email about this funding request. So I want to apologize that it should have been on the agenda sooner. Sorry, Dawn.
Not a problem.
And thanks for catching it. Oh, yeah.
So knowing that we had a spending limit, we had a water main break on Mill Street, and we used some supplies which we keep as emergency repairs. And so that's what the request is for, is to replace those materials that we utilized in making the repair.
I would say hopefully you just ordered them, because something like this, a spending freeze to me is something that wants more than needs. So I just want to make it clear to you.
That's why I sent the email, because I wanted people to know that I was going to do that, and
Good.
I didn't feel comfortable in just doing it. So at the Water Commission meeting last Wednesday, we voted to purchase the materials, because I can't do that on my own. But it's emergency materials. You just can't turn your back on not having those supplies.
Yeah.
So if you'd approve it, I appreciate it.
I also reached out to the contractor that worked down there and complimented him on what a good job he did paving that. Can't even tell there's a.
Well, he
cut in the street.
came back and.
Yeah, no, I talked to him. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, first I called him in after we had some rain and asked him to come in to touch up the patch because it was getting pretty well worn, but
We did, I did talk with the superintendent and asked him to do the same.
yeah. So, but the, Jake did a great job on the patch down there.
Yep.
And his guys. Are we anticipating gonna have more water main breaks? Because that's the second one in that general
Yeah,
area, and I'm
it-
guessing is it bad pipe that we received or?
That's a good question. Part of the discussion is that it's bad soil. Could it be bad pipe? It could be. Could it be vibration from trains? It could be, we're talking about, we're probably going to have to take a long, hard look at making some modifications to that pipeline somehow. But
Yeah, like
hopefully we don't have any more. We've had 2 breaks in
2 years.
a couple of years.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
But that soil's real wet.
And it's low.
and
I
it's
mean,
clay.
and it's wet. Yep.
All right,
Okay,
thank you.
All right.
motion.
Motion to ratify the purchase of the,
Couplings.
the water couplings.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Moving on, number 10, Tip Top request to use the town hall on 6/20/2026.
I'll make a,
Oh, go ahead.
I'll make a motion to allow Tip Top to use the town hall on 6/20/26.
Second.
Any discussion?
No,
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Got the thing that in there, you let 'em know.
Number 11, assessing/consultant agreement for Diane Bishop Services review and execute.
All right. So, I'll make the motion and then we can discuss during the discussion. So I move that we, accept the proposal from Diane Bishop to provide, assessor support services, for fiscal year 2027.
I'll second.
Okay.
Discussion.
Okay, so the discussion is right now Patty King has been functioning as an assistant assessor without a primary assessor for the last couple of years since Al Jones left. She wants to retire. She was kind enough to give us like several months' notice. We now have the ad up to replace her role. She's gonna be moving to more part-time than she is currently, starting July 1st. I think she provided us a final work date of the 28th of July. So we have a couple of resumes. I was actually gonna partner with you, asking for some support. Regarding the interviews. So she can stay on to like train an additional clerk, but I'm not expecting that that person is gonna have the same level of knowledge or experience that Patty has. So what Diane Bishop is offering, kind of totally discrete of the other services that her husband provides to the town, is basically a remote primary assessor, for handling a lot of the day-to-day that can be done primarily remotely. She can come on site if needed. But she could handle a bunch of the phone traffic, a bunch of the email traffic. The price is $7,500. You know, it's, I think they were talking about billing biannually. And then any like formal training would be at a higher rate and separate of that fee. And I think it falls well within the wages budget as it stands, especially knowing that Patty's gonna be taking a step back. And it puts us in a position where we at least have experienced coverage in place while we're sorting out the staffing
Yeah,
situation.
so
in the assessor
oversight, yeah,
office.
perfect.
So, I strongly recommend that we would go forward with it. I don't know if anybody has any other questions or has had time to review the agreement or what have you.
Good.
I'm good. So, okay, we took a vote, did a second, discussion, anything else? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Was the fee amount was in your motion, right? 75?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay.
It wasn't? Okay, well, it was to
Well,
accept
it's in
the
there.
contract as
Yeah.
written, which,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
it's on the first page of the agreement, so.
All right, skipped over, we did 12, 13, open meeting law complaint response filed 5/22/26 by Christopher Kelleher, review and execute.
So I move that we accept the, response, and was this written by you or was it by town council?
It was written by myself. Karen was kindly shared with me some previous examples the town had used, and then we had town council review it and made one minor change.
Great.
So it's ready to go.
Awesome. So,
So you hit the ground running, yeah, huh? Good for
I
you.
did it last week.
Well, thank you for doing that.
Well, it was fairly straightforward to do, and unfortunately not the first time I've drafted one.
So, you know, and the hope is, I mean, and it actually expresses one of the reasons why I was so passionate about getting an experienced person on board as an interim, and hopefully we're starting to see, you know, solid resumes for the committee to consider, or if we're not, then we're gonna have to figure out how we make Brookfield a preferred employer for aspiring town administrators. So,
If you have a miracle, let me know.
I will see what I can do. I pulled some funny rabbits out of my hat before.
I mean, these
so.
were just procedural nuances, I would say, and so Sarah and I talked earlier today about how we might go forward and make sure that we are entering in sessions correctly and
Yeah.
and
Just get the muscle memory in place for
that's
doing it right.
well put.
Yes, yeah.
Awesome. All right, so I'll move that we send the response as drafted.
Second.
It's due tomorrow, so timing is good.
Yeah.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Number 14, Mass Department of Environmental Protection, DEP tier classification.
So it sounds like they just want to speak with the town administrator and come up to speed, but it looks like there's no cost and they're gonna take on the work with their LSP. And this is regarding the old Finney property on Route 9.
You don't have the forms for the sign.
No, we don't have, it's a good draft, as soon as I told them that they, then they will.
Okay.
Draft something to send back.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, any background information?
Okay,
So
so,
right next to Cumberland Farms, the property that's vacant,
Yeah,
so it
is
was,
the,
oh, go ahead.
go ahead, Bethany.
No, no, go ahead.
one of you.
There was an oil spill there years ago and the property's been sitting
Yeah.
vacant for many years and looks like the DEP is gonna start the process of getting an LSP involved, a licensed site professional. Well,
Yeah, it looks like they're in our beta.
Yeah, so if you read in there, basically, as a town, we submitted
Oh,
for a tier
granted from
classification
EPA.
back in 2019.
Team,
I would
yeah.
say Brad had some involvement there when he was here
And
with
that was-
Ron.
It was Punk, well, Punk started the process back in 2019.
Okay, I know Brad, while I was selectman, I know Brad talked about it too,
Yep.
so, okay.
So the way that it went down was that, Clarence Snyder had originally spearheaded the submission of the tier classification. Which got us positioned, because I think we were trying to position ourselves to be able to pursue grant money to do cleanup on that property. But it wasn't a town property. I think it's still not a town property. I don't think
I
it's
don't
gone
believe
through
we
the
ever
taking
took it.
yet. It's been in arrears for a number of years. And then this is kind of the next step in that process where we can get state support in actually doing the cleanup. So that tier classification is 2. They started doing the monitoring. The 3 will enable the state to come in and help us with the actual cleanup.
All right,
So,
motion?
I'll make a motion that we allow our town administrator to work with the DEP and the LSP involved to move that process forward at the Finney property.
second.
Any discussion?
No,
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
15, transfer station deck contractor, determine point of contact for gathering quotes.
Yes. Does anybody else have a passion around gathering quotes? Because
I will work with someone down there to get some quotes to see what needs to be done so that no one gets hurt at the transfer station. I know it's been talked about a couple times now, so.
we may have had somebody stop by Tuesday afternoon, so I apologize if I leaned forward and went rogue. So, but I did get the name of one licensed contractor to go take a look at it. He's the Keith that used to work at Tantascwa as their, woodworking
Oh,
instructor.
Keith Merrill?
Yeah,
Oh, good.
yeah. So hopefully he tentatively thought he would be able to stop by during business hours Tuesday. I was
Okay.
gonna work something out with
Yeah.
Jim to take a look at it, but
Do you mind if I reach out to him or do you want to say?
oh, no,
it's
go
up to
right
you?
ahead.
Okay.
If you prefer to reach out to him,
Yeah.
if you want to have
Yeah, I
point
know
on
him
that,
well
it's
and-
just that's been ongoing for a minute. And it kind of got lost between the cracks between Board of Health and the Board of Selectmen.
I didn't even know about it, so.
Well, I think the Board of Health had sent us a couple of notes like almost a year ago about relative.
Taking over like the day-to-day down
Taking
there.
over the day-to-day, but they also included a concern about the structure around that decking. And it is pretty skewed. I think it's one of those situations that, it's settled in a position that's stable, so I don't think it's an imminent tomorrow it's gonna fall over, but I don't wanna wait too much longer.
I think there was, I talked to Jim today.
Yeah.
Sorry,
today.
it runs together.
Yeah.
And somebody did actually put a foot through something, so I think
Oh,
sooner
did they
rather than
really?
later would be good.
Oh dear,
Yes.
okay. At the last I looked, it didn't look like it was that bad, but I guess it's that
I
bad.
think at about 2:00 today is when I learned this, so.
Oof, okay. So, I mean, I don't know. So, yeah, if you can follow up with Keith and then, I asked him.
I'll get 2 other quotes.
Yeah, and I asked him to kind of, when I talked to him, just so we're consistent when we're talking to the contractors, I asked him to quote it 2 ways. One is like safety critical only work, and the other one would be like just tear down and replace. So,
Okay.
I tried to make it clear that we think there's at least 2 options and
Okay,
to
depending what the funds come back, yeah.
Yeah.
those quotes. Okay,
and we'll have to talk about where that would come out of,
Mm.
because it wasn't on town meeting and we'll have to figure out whether it would go transfer station expense.
Yeah,
whether
I'd
it
like to
be-
see what their funds are.
Yeah, so,
And I'll work with the Board of Health. I'll bring this to them as well.
great.
Yeah, I have a question. Are we gonna look to get this done by the end of the fiscal year or the new fiscal year?
Well, some of it may have to happen sooner rather
Right,
than
yeah,
later.
it sounds like we need it sooner than later, so.
Okay, so
Alright.
maybe both, okay. All right, do you want a motion, anything, or you just wanna move on? You okay with?
I'll move that Rich take point on finding a contractor to get that executed sooner rather than later.
Second,
Any discussion?
no.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Number 16, approve CMRPC invoice number 6762.
So moved.
No, second, that.
Any discussion?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Yes.
Number 17, sign Eric Kincher fiscal year 2027 accounting services contract.
That includes the finance director position.
I make a motion to sign the Aaron Kinshaw fiscal year 2027 accounting services contract.
I'll second.
Discussion.
Yeah, if we're gonna pay for the finance director, something I've been asking for a number of years and now I understand it better because it wasn't contained within the confines of the accounting role, is the multi-year financial forecast. So I would hope that we would receive some form of projections associated with this, so we can start to do some better long-range planning.
Okay.
But other than that. on
Where's the
page
finance
3.
director section in here?
Finance director section is on page 3.
I see it, thank you. Thank you.
Yep. So I just. And then I think it's fine for this year coming. I think once we have a permanent town administrator, we can have the discussion around whether it stays with the accounting
Yeah.
firm or whether it moves to the town administrator.
Sure.
So. So I don't know that a town this size technically needs a finance director and a town administrator, but we have
I would
had
agree
the
with that.
stability.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Up to this point, so.
Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Fiscal year 2027 appointments.
Here's a list. All right.
Yeah, all the yellow, everything on that list that's highlighted, just has to be lit up, and then. that's
Okay, does it
signed.
need to be,
yeah, we
does
have
it
the-
need to be read off, or since we have it in writing, can we do it as submitted and then give a copy to our local, fifth establishment? So,
I say we try it.
what's that?
We try it.
We try
As written.
as written, all right.
Okay, so I'll move that we accept all of the nominations as indicated in the submitted document.
Second,
Any discussion?
Has everybody affirmatively accepted the nomination?
I believe it was, I know I was just waiting to get, I did have him in as, Kevin as CMRPC for an alternate, he was just waiting to do a vote, I think, but didn't want to know, and then got to meet again first.
Ah, okay. So should the planning board want somebody else on CMRPC, then,
happy to do it, I'm happy to do it as, just pass it by the board.
Board, yeah.
We can always appoint somebody else. We can rescind today's vote and then appoint someone else, so, so.
Okay, great.
All in favor?
Okay, so I guess-
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Number 19, PD monthly report for March and April 2026.
Okay, so. I guess I'll move to acknowledge the chief's report.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
I got a question. It says, hold on, it says March and April, but I just have April.
I think there's two there,
Oh,
unless
I don't have two. I only have one.
you want to share one.
Yeah, mine's just April as well.
Yeah, I think I did put March in there. That's good, nice time.
Okay. All right. Moving on. Number 20. Grant writer may report.
Okay. Because I'll move to accept the grant writer report.
Any discussion or second?
Second, I'll second that.
Any discussion?
Are there any specifically that we're concerned either aren't aligned with priorities or that if we don't get the grant, we need to identify an alternative method of funding, or is all of this predominantly supplemental?
I haven't really identified any that we really need, but looks like she's communicating very well with everyone.
Right. So I don't know if it'll have an impact on like police expense if they get the body camera grant, because I know that they're leveraging a service now. I don't know if they've hit the point where they start to get heavy fees for storage yet or not. I don't know if that's to supplement
Or,
that.
yeah, I wasn't sure if it's just an updated camera system itself, or if it was,
Right,
Do they
Or-
wear body cameras now?
they do,
they do.
Okay.
but I don't know what age they are either, right? So,
I think they're about 2 years old, and I think it was through a program where, I hate to put it this way, it's one of those, it starts very low cost and they get you on the subscription,
Oh, yes.
so,
Tasers are the
Mhm.
same thing.
right. So, no, but that's all. Okay, for that.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to adjourn. That was it, right?
Yeah.
When is our, can I just bring up one thing?
Yeah.
Real quick.
Yeah, I gotta bring up something too really quick.
Yep, they have started on the bell tower. I will be in contact with Tom probably tomorrow to find out when they think they're gonna finish. I'm hoping they will be able to finish the work before the 1st of July. If they're not able to finish, I think we're okay with them invoicing up to that point for this year.
Yeah.
They just need to get in right away because I'm sure I haven't met Lori yet. I will tomorrow, but she's probably has a cutoff date that I just don't know
Right.
by
So
which
we
you
got
have
an
to.
earmark, so I have to like create our own invoice and submit to the state by June 30th. Yeah, so we have to show that we already paid them.
So
So we're gonna have to cut that. So we're gonna have to figure out what the last day
Day
is
is
that we
that-
can
yeah.
cut the check,
Isn't it-
because if they're not gonna be done, we need to
aren't
pay up
invoices
to the point of
be turned in
completion,
tomorrow?
I would think.
Yes, but we, yes.
Could we do like a PO or something?
I think we could also, could you reach out to them and let them know the urgency
Well,
of
I
finishing?
have an
Okay.
invoice, but the work's not done yet. We can't pay for
Yeah.
work that's
No.
not
It's not
done
done.
yet.
He
So
said
that's the
to me yesterday, and he said, this is what, guys said, the workman said he was either gonna come in today, or if not today, it would be tomorrow, and he fully expects to have it done by Friday.
Okay.
Purchase order?
I have to talk to Lori, but that just would encumber the funds,
Yeah,
but that still
funds.
doesn't show it paid.
Paid, yeah.
So like I said, if they're gonna be done by Friday, I have the invoice in hand.
There you go.
Perfect.
So-
Yeah,
so-
just send
so
it
I
to me
can-
right
I
away.
can-
Yeah.
I
You
just
can
didn't
give
wanna-
it to us,
I
we can
didn't-
talk with Lori about it tomorrow.
Let me forward it to you all. It's a link through, Facebook.
Yeah, because I just have to create my own, like there's steps I have to follow.
Which is why I wanted to bring it up, because I think he sent it to me either last night or this morning, so.
Well, because if we can have confidence that he's here tomorrow,
Yeah.
then that we could process it, we can hold the check to make sure he actually did do it, but at least we've got it in the queue to get paid, and we can show evidence that it was.
Yep.
In terms of meeting the obligation that Sarah's talking about with the earmark.
Okay, so I will send it to both of you to be able to do whatever we need to do next. That's why I wanted to bring it up, and I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I literally just got it this morning, so.
I'd rather put the invoice in. We can always void the check. If some. All right, well, let's talk anyway.
okay,
So. That is in the ether to you both.
really quick, July meetings. I won't be here the 8th, the 15th, or the 22nd, so we're gonna meet July 1 and the 29th, if that's okay with, they're Wednesdays, but if that's okay with the two of you.
I'm good.
But that's fine if we have any work in the interim that's
Yeah.
critical.
Yeah,
then
that's fine.
We'll just have to schedule some.
Yeah, but main things, yeah, we're gonna shoot for the 1st and the 29th.
That's gonna be a long time in between.
I know.
Do the
Ask
night
Kevin,
business of the
Kevin,
town.
what, did you have something?
Planning board's on July first.
Oh,
So we can go to the police station.
yeah, we can go to the police station. And we can meet other days. I'm just saying those 3 Wednesdays I can't do.
Okay, so if we need to do an evening meeting, it
Yeah.
has to be a different
A
day.
day, yeah. Okay, anything else?
No. I just wanna,
Oh.
Chris Stevens at the highway for keeping things under control as much as he is. I guess that's it.
Yes, and I quickly, have we gotten any applications for interim superintendent? No. All right. And second, I want to thank the chief and both chiefs. When I went to work this morning, they had the kids from the elementary school walking down the street. They had some music playing, the siren going. So I just want to thank them for taking the time
Oh,
and
wow.
doing that for the
Parade for
kids
the
at the
sixth
school.
graders.
Last
Yes,
day.
yeah.
Wow, that's nice.
So I thought that was cute.
That was awesome. So.
Hmm.
I want to just thank Blythe for being here.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Like, yeah.
So,
All right. Anything
All right.
else?
Nope,
All right.
I already made the motion, but I'll
Alright.
do it again. Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Glorious lack of discussion for.
Hey, what was your first name again? I'm sorry. Zach, did you bring a camera to get Blythe's picture in the new leader? Oh, bummer.
Yeah, very comfortable that he.
He'll have to do that.
handled the situation responsibly and.
Yes.
Yes, yeah.
Do you want me to just give him my copy?
Yeah, you can give him your copy.
They didn't have a fence around their landing ground pool that they were using.
Here you go, Zach.
And the
All right.
next door neighbor has an autistic
Yes.
driver. Exactly. So yes,
Okay.
did he go out later than usual? Yes, he did. Was it for a good reason? Yes,
Yes,
it was. The
yeah,
guy
she
invited